to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 24. Yes, it's Christmas Eve on our part, this side of the world, anyways. So I hope that everybody is well and that you have already prepared everything for the coming Christmas, which comes tomorrow. Okay, so for today, we have an amazing guest once again. And our guest is none other than Angelito or Lito as we fondly call him. He is actually a photographer, videographer, and YouTuber who has lived in Japan for almost 20 years and currently lives in Nara. And Nara is right in the heart of Japanese history, nature, and sacred deer, as they say. He brings his wealth of experience, humor, and sense of fun to his channel and looks forward to helping people from around the world, not just from the Philippines, have a sense of wonder and get over to Japan. So if you have any questions about Japan or even Lito, okay, he is more than happy to try and answer them today. And so without further ado, let's all welcome first time on Mommy Guide Inc. Lito, a little bit of Japan, Lito himself. Hi, Lito.
Hey, 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 everybody in the chat. How are you doing? So excited. Wow, can we give like a round of applause, some like hands up in the chat for Lala's amazing delivery of that intro. So hype, so energy. I love it. I love it.
All right.
I love it.
And as you can see, Lito is also full of energy, and he is also he brings in so much fun as well to his videos and live streams. Guys, if you are not yet subscribed to Lito, all his social media links are actually in the description of this video. All right, so Super Floop is saying, really hoping we can come visit to Japan soon. Yes, Anna, she is my moderator daughter.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Nice.
that's Super Floop. She also has her own channel. And Clay, how do you pronounce her name?
I
Claymer?
think I think we pronounce it Clymer is what
Clymer.
most people say.
Okay.
Clymer. Yes.
Clymer, hello, hello, Mommy Guide, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much for being here first in the chat, actually, today. And thank you for sharing. And of course, Lito, we have Tina One Kenobi. He is my dear crafty sister who jumps in alongside me with two other crafty sisters when we do crafty stuff.
I
There
love
is
her.
Lito.
I love
Yes.
her name, Tina One Kenobi. I think I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I feel the Force is strong with that one.
Oh, yes, it is. All right. Okay. And of course, we have Janet. You know, Janet, right? An Animal Paradise Communication and Healing. Hi, Janet. Thank you so much for waking up. Oh, no. It's actually after, oh, almost 10, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. for them. Thank you so much. And of course, everybody saying hi to everybody in the chat. Lala, hyper morning to you. As always, of course. Okay, and Lito hi from Janet. All right, Miss Mary Megalove shout out po. So much energy in the stream today. Of course, it's a great morning. It's Christmas Eve, right, Lito?
Yes,
Although
yes.
the weather is not so okay. Maybe a little bit too much snow in Japan right now, Lito?
Yeah, that's a good thing to touch up upon. So I'm in Tokyo currently, here on a bit of work, and I plan to go back to Nara on the Shinkansen, on the bullet train, as soon as basically we finish this live stream. But I was on the website where I have my reservation on the bullet train, and it
Mm-hmm.
seems like there's heavy snow in some parts of the country. So there are delays right now. I think they're working on making sure the train tracks are clear and getting all any
Mm-hmm.
snow out of the way.
All right. Okay, so
Possibility
guys,
that
please,
I'm gonna miss
yes,
it
let's
too.
join Lito in prayer. Guys, please
Yes.
pray for for safe travels, and that there's no cancellation, and that whatever needs to be done will be done, so Lito can safely go back to his family for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Of
That's
course.
the hope anyways. We have some
Exactly.
well maybe we can talk about it later, but I have some Kentucky Fried Chicken
Oh,
waiting. We yeah, you have
oh
to
my
order
gosh.
it. Yeah.
We actually, Lito, just the fast one. We had
Uh-huh.
Christmas clatter the other day. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think it is a 22nd, okay, for Vlogmas Day 22nd. And we
Okay.
did a little bit of trivia quiz. We had so much fun. Like 10 I did a trivia about Christmas, so people,
Uh-huh.
joined. And there was a question about Japan, right?
Oh,
About
okay.
KFC. And so I know you will
Mm-hmm.
discuss that later. So we'll go back to that. And we have
Okay.
Victor in the chat. Hi, Victor. Basic networks and streaming. Hola, Victor. And Tina is asking, is again Clay from
Mhm.
SoCal?
I don't think she's from SoCal. I know there's like probably something with the name there, but it's yeah. I can't
Okay,
remember.
it's just a
She's
joke.
yeah.
Sorry naman, Tina. Hindi ko nabasa
Yeah.
agad.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Hi, Miss Mary. Okay, so
Mhm.
basically everybody is saying hi to everyone. Okay, so let's
Awesome.
start. Okay, so first and foremost, okay, so probably of course this is Lito's first time to be here in Mommy Guide Inc. So they really want to know who is Lito Cruz and what does Lito Cruz's channel or topic all about. Okay, in your social media.
Right. So, well, yeah, guys, a little bit of background about me. So, I was born in the Philippines, raised in Canada, and then I moved to Japan about almost 20 years ago. So, I've been in Japan a long time, always been staying in the Osaka area. And, I was basically an English teacher for the longest time. And about 10 years ago, there was something in me that wanted to be more creative. I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of hobbies, like, for example, music. I was in a band, or photography, or playing video games, and all these creative things. Kind of, they're really passionate. My hobbies, I wanted to put more time into them, and
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to do something online with it. Whether it's YouTube or maybe some sort of online business. I don't know, but perfection and maybe lack of time, just over the 10 years, it never really materialized into anything. But then, skip to coronavirus happening about 2 years ago. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, wow, if I'm going to start anything, now's the time. People are all at home. You have a lot of more people watching things on YouTube. And I live
Mm-hmm.
in an awesome country that I want to, showcase and highlight. I think Japan, even despite all the things that has happened with the borders and all, is still very high on many people's hit list to travel to. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. And yeah, I like to kind of infuse my personal life into YouTube as well. So the whole thing is like there's a lot of big channels out there that show you, top 10 things to do in Tokyo and
Mhm.
top 20 things to visit, do in Nara. But I also want to give people like an inside look into my life, because I like do a lot of crazy different things. Here I was able to live stream at a ninja village through a connection I had.
Wow.
Yeah, I do voice acting here in Japan, and soon I'm gonna kind of show you a day in the life of a voice actor in Japan. So kind of these little weird things that maybe only you can see through my lens. That's what I want to kind of keep it
That
to as
is
well.
so much fun. Thank you so much, Lito. Again, that's a
Yeah.
little bit of Japan. That is his YouTube channel name. So I highly suggest that you actually subscribe. And that's why, the first time I saw Lito and I met Lito, it's like, I think maybe he has a Filipino blood in him. A
Yeah.
little bit. Like the name, the looks, maybe. And I was so right. So the first time I met Lito, I was like blown away. He is so awesome. He basically can do anything, just like Tino and Kenobi in the chat. I think both of them are probably, Jedi, because they can sing, they can do whatever. Tina is also into voice acting. So you guys are really like two peas in a pod. So, and both are friends of mine, right? So, okay. So that is what Lito's channel is all about, right? So
Yeah.
amazing things about Japan. And not just Japan, but how, as a person who lives in Japan, his experiences, he also shares. And most of the time, we also want to do, or we also want to learn things about Japan in a different
Hmm.
perspective, right? Not just a tourist's perspective, right? And what a better way to do it than, through Lito's channel. Again, a little bit of Japan. All the links are in the description down below. Now, Lito, we know that, because of the pandemic, including us, we had a visa that can, we can go to Japan multiple times. But then during the pandemic, all visas got canceled for safety
Hmm.
reasons, right?
Hmm.
So basically, the whole world had to stay home. Okay, but recently, have things been opening up a bit in Japan?
Yeah, definitely. I think since middle of October, Japan basically fully opened their borders. Until then, it has been so difficult. Japan has made it so difficult for people to get in the country with all these, going through hoops and this and that. Like, I think for a long time, you had to be on like a special tour group that was approved by the government, and you could only have like 30 minutes of free time to roam around before your tour guide went and got you. But now it's pretty much open. So, like a good example
Yay!
is as soon as borders opened, my friend from Scotland, a very good friend, JJ, I call him
Mm-hmm.
just roaming around. He came to Japan for the first time. He said he had no problems at the actual airport and whatnot. It was really quick and easy, and it's been weird because like the borders are open, people are starting to come, but for the first 1 to 2 weeks, it was still pretty quiet, right? I've been in Tokyo 4 times in the last 4 months for work. And every time it's getting busier and busier and busier. And I don't think we're at a peak yet with all the tourists,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely see like more people with suitcases, a lot of people looking around on signs. So it's starting to come back to
Yay!
pre-pandemic levels, but I don't think it's going to be that case, because maybe we can touch upon this later. There
Mm-hmm.
still are a few countries, because of their governments, they're not allowed to
Mm.
travel internationally. And I think
But
there's one
can
country in
we, the
particular.
Philippines? Do you think?
I'm pretty sure you have to double
Yeah.
check with the Japanese embassy website
Mm-hmm.
for the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and the best thing is to go there and make sure you can. But I believe so. Like, if the Philippines can open up to other countries for travel, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming it's also okay for
Yeah.
Japan.
So I recently went to DC, and my stopover was actually Japan, right?
Mm,
So yes, but I was only in the
yeah.
airport for like several hours. So there
Oh.
you go. So I
Right.
hope, yes, that it's open already. And we have, of course, we have whimsical thoughts. Happy birthday, belated whimsical thoughts. I think it was the other day. Happy birthday. And Victor is saying visiting Japan is on the bucket list. All right. Maybe Victor, if you visit the Philippines, either going back or coming here, you can stop by Japan. That is a
Hmm.
perfect,
It's
right?
awesome.
What do you think? Perfect itinerary, Lito. What do you think for
Definitely, definitely.
Victor?
Yeah, most people will, if they're gonna do like the layover in Japan, you're probably, like you said, gonna layover in probably Narita.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can go both airports now, but Onitsha is the big one. I would definitely recommend at least one night if you can. But if you don't have much time, but you have a little time to spare, at least 3 days. Get on the bullet train, go out to Kansai, which is the Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe area. Come to Nara, say hi to me, say hi to the deer.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, at least one night, so you can just take
Yes.
in
But
Tokyo.
I
But
I think maybe you gotta stay there at least five five
at
days
least,
if you
yeah. I
can,
mean,
right? So you can read. There's so many amazing things to see. But the thing is, in Japan, it's not like other touristy places where everything is so near, right? So
right.
here and the other one, no, you really have to travel. So that's the thing, though. That's why you need to set aside, I think, a bit of time to actually go there, right,
There,
Lito?
yeah, despite it being such a small country, there's like
Mm-mm.
so many things that are on like in tourist guides and top 10 lists. But
Mm-hmm.
you could just go a little bit off the beaten track if you can get a bus or even rent a car if you have an international driver's permit. There's even so much more of the countryside. It's wonderful that you can discover. I really think Japan is one of those places where you go there, if you have a good experience, you're going to want to go back again and again and
Oh
probably
yes,
go to
my
some of the
my
same places where
daughter
you
wants
once.
to actually live there, study there
Oh.
and live there, right? She fell in love with Japan really. And of course,
Mhm.
Lito, we have Amy. Hi, Amy. Yes. Lito, I'm really relating to your story. Glad you jumped in and started your channel, Creativity Playground. Yes,
Awesome,
we're gonna
thanks,
have
Amy.
Amy on the 28th or 27th. I'm not sure, but check out the schedule. It's already updated on my Facebook page. And show
Perfect.
Lita's channel some love, everyone. There you go. That's his YouTube channel. Clickable link there already in the chat. And please do
Thanks.
subscribe if you actually feel that you love the channel, and I'm sure you will. All right. So, question: what
Hmm.
show did you
Do
what's
voice
ah
acting for,
okay?
I
So
think.
voice. See, I don't even know what to.
Yeah, no
My
problem.
daughter knows.
Okay, so Super Flute, thanks. That's a really good question. So when we talk about voice acting in Japan, I think most people think, oh yeah, so you're doing anime, or you were doing radio or whatnot. Unfortunately, there's only like a few small handful of voice actors that they use for anime, and a lot of them are based mainly in North America because I think they get the anime translated over there, localized it to English, and then they usually want like someone who's in location there. I would love to get into like an anime or show like
Oh.
that. But for the majority of the jobs I get are usually these like smaller ones where uh, it can be narration. So like a TOEIC or TOEFL test. This is a test that people take to get a score for going to like university abroad. They need like a
Mhm.
level of English at a standardized test. I'll do voiceover for study tests for that. But I've done everything from like TV. So there's NHK, which is the National
Oh
uh,
yes.
Japanese Broadcasting Agency. So they'll have sometimes like video clips with Japanese and the English subtitles. So I'll be like
Mhm.
the voice of the old man, making kimono, and I'll have to act his voice or something.
Wow, that is so cool, Lito, right?
Yeah.
And but okay, Victor is saying Lito can get over fears of heights. Not me. I'll stay on the ground. Okay, backstory here, Lito.
Uh oh. Okay.
Maybe you wanna tell them what is Victor talking about a bit. Do you
Uh,
remember this? Remember, you went to conquer your fear. You said you went up the.
oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Remember?
Oh, that's Victor. Oh, hey,
Yes,
Victor.
that's
How's it
Victor.
going? Nice to see you, Victor. Thanks for being here. I didn't recognize from the channel name. Um, yeah. Now, what did I do? I went on a Ferris wheel,
Ferris
uh,
wheel.
in the middle of downtown Osaka, on top of a huge like shopping mall, right? So we're like, I don't know, like 8 floors up or something, and I live streamed from that for uh what was it called again? Live every day in
Yes, in
August.
Lida. Yes.
Lita,
Yes.
April, right? And yeah, it was a crazy experience because I have fear of heights, but I'm also a bit crazy. I love snowboarding. I've gone skydiving. So I think it's like a fear of heights if you don't have control over the situation, right? So when you're in a Ferris wheel, for example, I just have no control. Let me know in the chat if anyone has that same kind of fear. But yeah, like many things in life, you got to face your fear. Like
Yes.
doing skydiving was super super crazy for me, but I'm so glad I did it
Yes.
because now I love it. So face your fears,
Yeah, so we
take the
were
leap of faith.
actually in the chat when Lito was live streaming that one, and it was like, wow, so you're so brave, right? So it was so
Yeah,
much fun. So
nice, nice.
these are kind of things that Lito, wants to or imbibes in his, content creation journey as well. No
Mhm.
fear, fun, right? And Tina
Right.
is saying hi to Amy also, and everybody saying hi to everyone. Doc Rock is in Japan right now. Do you know?
I did know he was in Japan. I am a big fan of Doc Rock. He is
Mm-mm.
dropping so many bombs for content creators and people who use Ecamm Live like you and me. And then I was on one of his streams and I'm like, oh, he mentioned something about Japan, and then I said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I live in Japan." And then suddenly, I said, "Oh hi, it's Lito from Japan." He suddenly started speaking Japanese to me, and not just any Japanese, the local version of Japanese where I live in
Mhm.
Osaka. And I was like, "What? Why do you speak Japanese?" Supposedly, he went to university there,
Yes,
and he's
absolutely. Yes.
pretty
That's why he
fluent in
loves
Japanese.
Japan as well,
Oh
right?
man, how
So
amazing would it be to hook up with Doc Rock if I
yes,
knew I'd
maybe, why
do a
don't you
meetup with him?
message him? Apparently, actually had him December 8th for Vlogmas Day 8.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
it was
amazing.
just, I just wanted to, I just message him, and who knows if he replies, right?
Right,
So
that's
he's
amazing.
super awesome because he knows that I'm also part of the ECAM community, right? And you are
Right.
as well. So,
Yep.
try message him Lito while he's still there.
Okay, I'll try to hit up the
That would be
Doc Rock
great.
in Japan.
Yes.
I want to also say just a few shout outs. We have the J Vlog coming from my channel. He's saying GM, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Hey J Vlog, thanks for
Hi,
being
J
here.
Vlog.
Oh, Sishong Victor. Okay, I got it now. It's you. Awesome, awesome. But I also just wanted to backtrack a bit about the voice acting stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I recently landed a really big gig for Technics. It's the what do you call it, turntable company. They make turntables for DJs and whatnot. And yeah, I got a voice acting gig for a series of videos to help. It's their what do we call it, DJ Academy series. So we had this famous Japanese DJ, and I did the English voiceover. I actually had to rework the script a lot because the script was really bad. So I did that, and it's going to be dropping next month in January on the Technics YouTube channel, and the whole course is free. So
Wow.
one, if you want to hear what my voiceover can kind of sound like, as well as learn about DJing, go check that out. I don't
Oh
know when the
wow,
links are
that
live,
is
but
gonna be super awesome. All right,
yeah.
so Amy Yulin, Creativity Playground is gonna be on the show on the 27th in the morning, 11 a.m. Oh, and this became so big. Okay, what happened? Okay, so everybody's talking about how they're planning for to go to Japan. Victor, and then Miss Wims is saying, I think it's already open for us. Also, Victor's plan is to stop by Japan a few nights, then Philippines. Fingers crossed. Do that, Victor. Go ahead. And
Do it, do it.
question from Amy: how
Mhm.
challenging is it to travel there? For those of us who don't speak the language, yes. Do you need to
Wow,
be able to speak Japanese when we go to Japan?
that's a really good question. And I would say you can get around. There's like signage in English pretty much everywhere now. This was different because when I first came, actually, I came in as an exchange student in high school. It was back in 1995. There was less English signage, and it could be very daunting to know, what station you're going to go to, and because it's not written in English. But now everything's pretty much in like English, Chinese, and Korean for most transportation services, but also the staff at those train stations can often speak a little bit of English. If you go to the more touristy places like Kyoto,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much any shop there that's on a major strip where tourists go, a lot of them speak really good English, you know. But having said that, I think if you put in a little, even just a little bit of work, maybe I should make like 10 top useful phrases for when you're traveling to
Yes,
Japan
right. That's great.
without
Oh.
knowing the language. Just to say things like arigato, which means thank you, sumimasen, which means excuse me, which gets you like people's attention, or something like kore wa ikura desu ka? Kore wa ikura desu ka? Or even just ikura desu ka, which means how much is this? Even having a few key phrases, no, you might not be
Mm-hmm.
able to have a full on conversation, but if they know that you're trying, then they're gonna. Japanese people are usually really really accommodating anyways, right? So
Yes,
if you get lost,
absolutely.
I
Yes.
got lost when I came, and a businessman out of nowhere saw me looking at the signs at a station. He's like, in pretty good English, he's like, "Excuse me, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, I want to get to Tokyo Tower." He's like, "Okay, take this line." I'm like, "What? Which line?" And he basically held my hand, buying the
Yes,
ticket and
same
showing me
same
where to go.
experience, Lito. I think I mentioned this back a while back to you, right? So
Hmm.
we were going to the aquarium, and then
Hmm.
after getting off the train, said, "Okay, so which way do we go?" We got a little bit lost, and
Hmm.
then there's this guy. I think he's a college student or something. He just
Hmm.
didn't show us the way. He went with us. He accompanied us till like the door to the aquarium, right?
Yeah.
So they're very, very nice and accommodating. So I feel that as a tourist, it's
Hmm.
very much okay if we don't speak the language, but that's a very great advice, Lito. Learn
Hmm.
to at least the basics like hi, hello, where, the time, where to go,
Right.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And Lito said he's probably going to make okay content about that one for tourists like us, right? Okay, Tina is
Exactly.
asking, can you now say that you do not have the fear of heights anymore after conquering the Ferris wheel and that jumping?
That's a good question. I think my answer to that is I haven't completely conquered it. Like mentally, I'll be like, yes, I can go to high places now. But I think physically, I think we all have a bit of like fear of spiders and fear of high cliffs. I think it's more of like a, what do you call it, survival feature that's
Yes, a
built into
fight
most
and
people.
flight thing. So it's like
Yeah,
probably something that if you need to do it, okay. But if there's an
right.
option, no. So
Yeah, like
something
so
like that.
for example, like there's this place I love to hike in the back hills of Kyoto. If you guys know, this was where Arashiyama. It's one of the most beautiful places in Kyoto. So lots of nature, so scenic. But I go to the back hills behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
there's this one spot that I love to have a picnic at. But there's this kind of like a cliff and all these rocks on this overhang. And my friend who's not afraid of heights, he's also a photographer. He's like, "Hey, take a selfie." And he's like standing on the cliff, like
Oh my.
trying to get the Instagram shot. I'm like, dude, yeah, be careful, okay? He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." And I'm just like, "You want to take a shot?" I'm like, "No, it's okay, no, let's go." I don't think I'm that over fear of heights. I just don't. I
Exactly.
really don't want to, have an
At least
accident.
there's the start, right? Okay. And another
Yeah.
question from Tina. Did you
Mhm.
set up like a Fiverr account for your voice over gigs?
Oh, that's
Because
a good question.
she also does voice acting. So she's
Yeah, that's a good
asking.
question. I haven't done that for myself personally. I know there's work out there if you want to go on Fiverr, and I think it's a good place to start to try to get clients, and then you can build your clientele and
Mm-hmm.
improve your rates as you get more traction. But for me, the gigs I get in Japan is actually through a friend who's my agent. He's my agent, and he gets me clients and stuff. But uh, my advice is if you want to get out there more is to like make a try to make a professional demo, and you have to update that every once in a while because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like an actor or model's headshots, their profile pics, right? People want to
Mm-hmm.
know what you sound like. People want to know your range. So I recently actually remade my demo. I went into a guy who does it from home in his studio, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to research all of the agencies, the talent agencies that do
Mm-hmm.
voice acting gigs as well, and I'll just like email them my link with my demo and just try to get my
Wow.
word out there so that when I'm in Tokyo, I can do more and more creative work. Not just
Exactly.
photography and video, but also voiceover
Voice
here. So
acting. All right.
yeah.
So rooting for Lito and Tina One Kenobi in the chat. All right. So
Mm.
Super Floop is saying learning Japanese is actually on my goals for next year. And Magic Gaijin, am I saying that
Whoa.
correct? In
Okay.
Japan. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here again from Lito's community. They're very, very accommodating, guys. If ever you see, of course, you need to go and subscribe to Lito and hit that notification bell so that when he goes live, like the other day, he was coming in from Nara to Tokyo, right? In the bullet
Yeah,
train.
on the
And he was
train.
live streaming the whole time. And then I got notified and then I went on board. And then everybody there was so much fun. They were
Hmm.
accommodating and they were chit-chatting in the chat. So if ever you see Lito go live, make sure you're there. He has an amazing community as well, just like what we have here. All
Yeah, and
right.
if I can, like, if you guys are interested in this type of content, tips and tricks about Japan, do check out Nomadic Gaijin's channel. He's like a brother from a different mother. He's based in the Tokyo area. The J Vlogs in a totally different part of the
Mhm.
country, and he does Japan-based content and talks about his life there too. So not just me, but we have this nice little like group of Twitch streamers and YouTube creators who are really kind of can maybe answer your questions about their own special
Yeah, so
locations.
that's what I also like about your community. Just like ours, although a lot of us are actually doing the same things like crafting and all of this stuff, and we're all content creators, we actually do support each other. So there,
Mm,
just like an amazing community, I'm sorry, that Lito has. So head on to his friends' channel as well, Nomadic Gaijin and the J Vlog in the
yeah.
chat. There
Thanks
you
for coming here,
go.
guys.
Yes.
Can I have a quick question for you? So,
Okay.
like,
Oh,
I know you're mentioning you do a crafting channel. So, like,
yes.
I saw your intro, which is awesome. You got like a sewing machine. I know you have all your supplies in the back there. I'm starting to get into painting, like painting little
Mm,
miniatures for this board game called, or tabletop game called Warhammer 40K. It's a
yeah.
huge tabletop
You
game in
guys
the
were talking
world.
about that one. Yes.
Yeah, right. And I was just there the other day, and I got more footage of me painting my first miniature. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know, because, like, again, crafting, creativity, these type of hobbies, I think are so people put in so much passion and
Mm-hmm.
time and effort. And to me, it's like creating anything, even when it's cooking or crafting, is so therapeutic. It's kind of like
Exactly.
I feel good after. I know some people after a hard day of work don't want to cook, but for me, it's kind of fun. But like after a hard day of work, I'd want to maybe do my crafting for an hour, and you get in the zone and you get into this world. What type of crafting do you cover there, Lana, in your channel?
Okay, so for us, Lito, we've been it's like everything and everything about crafting. So, from
Mm,
cross stitch to painting, paper crafting, soap making, whatever. Okay, so whatever resonates
wow.
with the community, we do it. But most of the time, it's paper crafting. Whimsical thoughts in the chat right now.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so a few days, I think it was last Saturday, or no, it was last Monday. She was
Hmm.
with Tina One Kenobi in Tina One Kenobi's channel because she's also a crafter. Okay, so
Nice.
she and Tina collaborated and she taught us about acrylic painting. So the many different techniques about how to actually do acrylic painting. So
Hmm.
from the basics down to the different techniques. So Tina Ekanobi and I were out the other day and
Hmm.
we chanced upon this gallery and we were like critiquing the painting. Oh, so she did, pointillism here and a little bit of this and that. So we were like, oh my gosh, we learned so much. Right? So
That's
you can
amazing.
head on over Lito to also Tinawan Kenobi's channel, specifically because I know you're doing acrylic painting. And
Yeah.
that was a topic that we recently did. Okay, Tina and Whimsical Thoughts actually did in Tinawan Kenobi's channel. Whimsical Thoughts' channel is all about arts also, like
Mm,
painting, doing many things. So in our community, we have a community of artists and crafters, and of
mhm.
course tech people. Victor, he is
Yeah.
a regular in our community. We do a collaboration every month, once a month. Okay, he
Mhm.
comes in for tech for the crafters in our community because
That is
most of us
awesome.
are not, techie. So that's one
Mhm.
thing that prevents a lot of us from actually doing, content creation. So Victor has been an amazing part of most of our growth in terms of, the tech side of it, right, Lito? So Lito, you can
Mm.
really check any of these people in the chat.
I will definitely,
Yes, and we do
hook
have
up with your community.
several videos already in the past about acrylic painting, watercolors. We've had
Mhm.
an amazing, guest list in terms of all of those things. And if you want, we can collaborate further with that painting, art stuff that you do for, in right now, you're doing right now. And
I
where
would
you're
love to. Yeah. I'd definitely reach out and maybe do some collabs, and I wanna check out that content. As far as, like, arts and crafts here in
Mhm.
Japan, it I think Japan, when they get into hobbies, they get into it hardcore, right?
Dito, we love Japan.
I know
From the
it's
planners, the hobonichis, down to the markers, basically
oh,
all the stuff
yes.
that you see here, most of them are from Japan. As I said, Japan is our like Disneyland for most
For craft
crafters.
it was crazy. Yeah, there's, like, maybe I should do that, like, because, like, I wanna
Yes, Lito, why
showcase
don't you go to
stores.
our favorite stores?
Yeah, yeah, no, seriously, like, so I again, for my hobby, like I need like some special foam. It's really hard to get. For people who make dioramas, and that's one of the things I was getting into. Yes, Copic brand. Yeah. I need this special kind of foam that you can cut easily. It's not like regular packing foam and stuff that disintegrates and turns into little balls, but you can get that really easy, like in many Home Depot or home centers in other countries. I can't find it in the home centers here. It's supposed to be really cheap, but they sell the really good stuff at Kawachi. Kawachi is one of the big art chains around, just one of them.
So I've never heard of Kawachi, but
Yeah,
we do know Tokyo Hands
yeah.
and the other craft stores. So there's so many. I know there would probably be a lot that we don't even know about. And then maybe Lito, you can take us to the Hobonichi place or the travel. The
Oh man,
yes, the
I would love
travel.
to.
Yes, the TN place. Travelers no notebook place. It's we're big on planners here as well.
Oh, okay. I don't know that. I'm huge about stationery. You don't understand. Like I just like
Oh yes,
everything.
the
When I go to
post-its.
the
We
yeah, when
learned
I go to
about
the
that from
Daiso,
you.
I go to the Daiso. It's like, I mean, I come out. My wallet is like lighter because I bought like 10 different type of post-its or stationery. But yeah, I
So
would
there you go,
definitely
guys.
help
So
out with
if
that.
we want to go to Japan and head
Mm,
on to Japan, so Lito is, and of course now that he knows what we're interested in, so we could
mm, mm.
probably even see more a lot about places and stores and other crafts and art stuff in Japan
Yeah.
available right now.
Hmm.
Excited! All right, there. I've seen Shogun the TV series. That's how I learned some Japanese.
So
So
good. Oh
yes,
yeah,
I
yeah, that's
watched that
old
as well,
school.
Victor.
Yeah, nice. Love it, love it. Yeah,
Okay.
Japanese stationery is next level.
Okay. Oh
For
my
this
gosh,
thing.
Lito, look at this one. Amy is saying my scrapbooking friend's husband paints miniatures for Warhammer.
There you go. There you go. I just did a video showcasing the new Warhammer flagship store. If you
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it, or show your husband, I'm
Oh
sure he's going to
my.
want it. I just had the best pistachio latte and chicken basil sandwich yesterday while I was painting my miniatures in the store. It's amazing, just amazing. There were people in there with their families. They didn't even know what Warhammer was, but they were
Mm-hmm.
just in there to have food and drinks at the cafe, sit in their comfy seats, and just like look around and check. What is this place? It's kind of cool. So yeah, even if you're not a Warhammer, go in there and just like
Yeah,
soak in the atmosphere and get some good food there.
absolutely. We
Yeah, it's
also
really
have a
cool.
certain group of people who does that here.
Hmm.
Because I'm also into board games. So and board
Mm,
gamers actually are into like the Warhammer thingy. So they
right,
do miniatures, color and paint like that.
right.
Okay, and so Tina's channel, just like mine, it's all encompassing, but mostly paper crafting, card making, art
Mhm.
like painting with watercolor, acrylic, and also alcohol ink arts. I am not
Ooh,
very good with the arts, but I love bringing in people as guests as well. But Tina, on the other hand, really is an artist as well, right?
that
So
is
she
awesome.
has
That
a
is,
background in architecture. So,
oh
and of course,
wow.
she's an awesome crafter. So she's a perfect and she's a good teacher as well, right?
Can
There you go.
can I give you a little bit of insight? So I don't want to give
Okay.
any names, but so as well as in addition to YouTube and all the voice acting and photography stuff I do, I have some private students on the side that I teach English. I teach them singing as well because I have a musical background. One of my students is an amazing Japanese artist. She's won lots of awards in her Japanese community, but
Mm-hmm.
she would often go to New York in the summertime, and just go to, I think it's
Oh,
Academy of Artists in Manhattan. I can't remember. I went to that um, actual school once to see her when I was in
wow.
New York as well.
Lito, maybe we can have her as a guest.
Maybe she doesn't speak English fluently, but she's amazing. But why I'm mentioning her is one of the services I've now do for her, not just teaching English, but
Mm-hmm.
she has these Zoom lessons now with that academy because it's hard, like coronavirus, hard to travel, and she's not
Mm-hmm.
able to go to New York as often. So I'm basically her interpreter for her online English lessons,
Oh, that's so
online
cool.
art lessons. So we're learning painting, we're learning composition, color relationships, and this is on a high level. Like
Oh, yes.
they're that's a really high art. I can't remember the name of the art school, but it's one of the most famous art places there. And I'm like
Probably very
privy.
expensive, Lito.
Probably. She's gone
Yeah.
there for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's this amazing multimedia artist, right? So she does paint. She'll put like newspaper on it and the whole
Oh,
thing.
mixed media.
but I'm learning so much just by interpreting for her. It's like,
Wow.
so I'm learning about
That
composition,
is.
highlighting. I don't consider myself a painter as like 2D canvas painting. 'Cause, like I want to get into
Mhm.
more 3D miniature stuff. But learning about how to pull
Yeah,
your
so the
focus and the
basics,
colors.
right? So somehow it all,
Amazing.
with the crafts, we actually take a lot of lessons, or most of the things that we do also
Mhm,
has an art background, right? So
mhm,
knowing the basics about art is actually very important as well for crafters. And what you're
mhm.
doing, Ilito, that's super awesome. How to be you.
Yeah, crazy.
Exactly. And my daughter is saying yes. My mom has delved into all that's me almost all forms of crafting there. Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. I love anything about crafting. And Tina says, I love Japan's Copic brand. And my
Yes.
new okay, Olo markers are made in Japan, said Amy. Of course. And Amy also said, plus ask those of us who craft how much washi tape we have.
Oh my
Lito,
God.
okay, I don't think you can see it, but up there, okay,
Uh,
on my Scadis board
the
are
whole
washis,
roll.
just the ones that I normally use, but there are tons and tons and tons. Yes,
Yeah.
we're crazy that way. And Tammy is saying Japanese stationery is next level in all caps. Oh my goodness, that's how
It
she
is.
loves, stationery. You walk me into a Kinokuniya, I am not coming out.
Oh, I
That
don't know if
is
you guys
so
know what a
true.
Kinokuniya is. It's basically a big bookstore chain, but they have other things. They have tons of stationery and stuff there as
Yes.
well. Um, funny story about. I mean, I'm so glad. Like, I think I found my stationery tribe here because, like, I'm not the only one who thinks Japanese stationery is next level. There's something about the paper, even just the quality
Yes.
of the paper that they use sometimes. Yes, you can go to the Daiso. Daiso's a 100 yen dollar shop chain,
Mm-mm.
but like the paper, it feels good. And like it has this texture and weight to it.
Exactly.
If you go into a Daiso, I swear to God, if you're into crafting, you're not gonna come out with like at least you're gonna spend 50 US dollars just on like washi tape because you get all these varieties of different.
Yeah, so
Um,
true. That's
it's
so true,
amazing.
Lito. All right, so
Yeah.
Lito,
Mm,
now that the Japan has finally opened up again for tourism
mhm,
and all, so for Amy, for Victor, and for even for all of us, right?
mhm,
So what would be, maybe the top five advice in preparing ourselves
mhm.
for this awesome trip to Japan?
Oh, that's wow, top five. So I would say first of all, like kind of make a list of things that you are really interested in. Like, so do you want
Mm-hmm.
to visit the history of Japan? Do you want to taste the food? Do you want to go around and just buy a whole bunch of cool souvenirs for people? Like, know what you're into, right? So, like for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm a geek, right? Like or they call it a weeb. So I'm into like gaming. I'm into anime. I'm into card games. I'm into Pokemon. So I'm definitely want to go to like places like Akihabara, right? That's the mecca for me. If you're
Mm-hmm.
into art, yeah, then like look up some of the best art supply stores or art galleries or whatever, and then try to work that into your hit list, right? So once you get like a hit list going, then you can kind of see where they are in the country, right? So for example, a lot of people like I want to go to Universal Studios Japan because they have this cool Super Nintendo world that just opened up. It's only there right now. So
Oh,
yeah, and a
mm,
lot of people don't even know where it is. Where is that? Is it Osaka? Yeah, it's in
Osaka.
Osaka. So once you're in Osaka, what are the things that you can see around the area? So if you want to see history, then Kyoto is just like a day trip away, right? If you want
Mm,
to check out a cool nightlife and cool food and music, oh, Kobe is right there. You know,
Shinsaibashi.
so just have like a general plan, like a hit list, and then I think from there you want to kind of situate yourself. You're probably going to hit at least these two major areas. So obviously the Tokyo area, and then probably the Osaka, or they call it the Kansai area, and see what's available there. If you have more time, you can also go like in the middle of the country. Hiroshima is like a very big destination for obviously what happened during the war, and it's also really beautiful nature and food, and every place has its own little what unique parts about it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, have a hit list. What else would I say? Um, hmm,
How about money? Pocket money.
hmm,
How much, more or less, like if we're not gonna shop, for maybe if,
hmm,
backpacker mode, something like that, just really want to, indulge in the culture, the food, like
right.
maybe 3 to 5 days. Like how much should we more or less,
Mhm.
save up for or prepare?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think right now is a special time because the yen is so low in value, which means basically your money, you're getting more for your dollar or your pesos or whatever. So it's really, really good for travelers right now, to be honest. But there's stuff for every budget. I would say the medium, like the average range, what I would save up for is for every day you're in Japan, at least have 10,000 yen. That's like the minimum I would do. That gets you like your food, your transportation, and then maybe a little bit of touristy stuff or buying souvenirs. 10,000 yen, it would be a good base
Okay,
for
that's
like
great.
one day for a person. That way you have a little wiggle room. You can go cheaper than that, of course. You can stay at hostels, or you can go a little bit more fancier than that and maybe double that budget or triple it if you want to pay more for the hotel and go out like for yakiniku, which is Korean barbecue, and
Mm-hmm.
really nice sushi at the end of the day. So, but I think 10,000 yen per day is a good baseline.
Wow, that's great. How about do you have stuff in the channel where maybe you could do some like you know recommendations, right, or
Mhm,
something like feature some
mhm,
possible like probably Airbnb or something
mm,
on top of hotels, right? So if you're
yeah,
staying in this specific area, so
mhm,
as tourists, we want somebody also who's actually in in Japan, okay, who actually not just somebody who has been a tourist went there, right? We
mhm,
also want to see or hear from people who actually are in Japan and then recommend or show us some of the other options that probably
mhm.
some people do not know about but are actually good options, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, hidden gems, definitely.
yes,
I was
yes.
really lucky that even during the pandemic, they were kind of pushing a bit of travel. They had this kind of travel discount campaign called Go Travel. And obviously, for the longest time before borders were open, hotels, for example, in Kyoto, were super, super cheap. So I did try to get some footage from them. I just haven't edited it. So I was really lucky. I was for really cheap amount of money. I was able to stay at hotels that normally would be like 30,000, like 300 US dollars a night, and I was paying like 50 US dollars or something, right? So I know some of the good places, I know some of the good locations, but I also love Airbnb. Unfortunately, they had a really big hit. So one of my
Mm,
favorite Airbnb in the middle of Kyoto, I don't think is taking reservations now. I haven't checked in a while, but if they are,
oh,
their prices are back to like pre-pandemic levels. That I think that place was like 200 US dollars a night, but I was staying there for like probably 25 US dollars a night per person. So it's crazy. There are some great deals out there, but in general, um, check out Airbnb. For Airbnb, don't stay at any place that has less than a 4.7 star review rating, so 4.7 out of 5. Because
wow,
if it's
that's a
any
great
lower than
tip.
that, there's probably a reason, and they're just not showing the reviews, but there's probably like some pretty bad stuff going on there. Um, but even the
Wow.
hostels here are nice, like even for budget. I'm staying at this really cheap hotel right now called Palace Hotel. It's not fancy. The room is the smallest room I've ever been. But why it gets so many reviews is the front desk staff. She's
Oh,
super fluent in English, and she just spent 30 minutes giving me a rundown of the place, the local attractions, the local onsen, the hot spring, where to go. She was super, super nice. So I
oh,
would come
that's so
back here if I was
nice.
a budget traveler. It's not too far from downtown Tokyo, and it's cost like maybe 3,000 yen a night, less than
Wow. We're
thirty
gonna be
dollars
looking
US.
forward to your video about the place you're staying right now, Lito.
Mm,
I'm sure it's something that we need to actually see. And Nathan Red, hello, thank you so much for dropping by. And
mm.
Tina, where's the best sake that would knock you out easily?
Oh, that's it. That's a tough question, Tina. So like
So many.
Japan, yeah, Japan has like hotspots of places. I mean, really much any place you go has its own little, like probably local breweries. But I had this conversation with some Japanese friends I made recently, and they're saying like, "Oh, you live in Nara? You know, Nara has like 30 sake breweries that they're famous for. Not just Nara City, but Nara Prefecture, so like the whole province or
Mm-mm.
prefecture. So yeah, if you're in Nara, they're really, really famous for their sake. Is it gonna knock you out? Well, that depends on how much of a heavyweight you are. Um, ninja tip. I like using that word. Ninja tip. Sake is usually drunk in these little like ochokos, which is you'll see the bottle of sake and then like a little
Uh-huh.
glass that's maybe like this size in comparison to the bottle. Do
Uh-huh.
not down it like a shot. Like a lot of people think it's
Oh
like a
yes, no?
shot. No, you're supposed to sip it. you sip it and you just take it like a whiskey or something. So
Oh,
yeah,
see,
maybe that's
we're learning so much from Lito, right? Oh,
yeah,
1 hour is not enough, guys, really. And then Tina is reminding us, of course, don't stay at an Airbnb or hotel that
yeah,
has a lower rating than 4.7. Thank you, Lito. Okay,
yeah.
that is a great reminder. Okay, let's go, Tita Tina. Kampai.
Kampai, which means cheers in Japanese. Kampai. Bing. I have this little.
Kampai. All right. Okay, the Toyoko in chain is fairly reasonable.
Mhm. Yes,
All right,
yes. So
I've
there's a few business hotel chains. Oh, sorry, Lala. Just wanted to say,
mm-hmm,
JVlog is right. Toyoko Inn is a pretty big chain that's very reasonable.
mm-hmm.
A friend who recently came to Japan, he swears by it, and it's pretty good. I think I stayed there once. Another one that's good. What is the other one? Uh, Toyoko in Appa Hotel. So APA Hotel, Appa Hotel. The good thing about them is they have them pretty much everywhere and usually right by a station. So
All
if you have a
right,
lot of
that's
luggage
great.
and stuff, that's a good
Yes.
one to get. But they boosted up their prices pre-pandemic because so we got to talk a little bit about this. So at a certain point in the last 10 years, the prime minister really pushed a travel campaign for Chinese residents or Chinese people to come to to Japan. Before it was really hard for them to get a visa, but they lowered
Mm-hmm.
the restrictions for that. So we suddenly had this huge influx of Chinese tourists, especially inundating places like Tokyo and Kyoto. Kyoto basically got overrun by Chinese tourists. And what happened is a hotel like Apple Hotel knew that, and they were getting sold out. So normally a hotel that would cost 6,000 yen a night, maybe around
Mm-hmm.
550 US dollars right now, probably even less than that, 45 or something, would then be like $200 US a night, just
Oh.
because there's so much demand, right?
Uh-huh.
But right now, I don't think it's back to that case. I think it's back to like the around the 6,000 yen per night um,
Okay.
fee.
So there,
So
at least we have a little bit of, if you don't want to go through the process of being in a tour group or going through a
mhm,
travel agency and you want to book everything yourself, okay, so there. So head on to, okay, Lito's channel, a little bit of Japan, and of course his friends. So Lito, invite them
mhm.
over.
Yeah, guys. So, if you want to learn about my life in Japan and you want some tips and tricks to make your stay even more enjoyable, come on over to Alito of Japan. I'm on YouTube, Instagram. You can see some of my photography, as well as my own website where you can kind of see what other services I do. I'm starting to start up an actual like tour and professional photo service. So once that website gets up, I'll definitely put it on my main hub website. I'm a little bit of Japan on all social media. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope to be in touch with a lot of you soon.
All right, so there you go. Thank you so much, Lito. But don't forget, guys, on the 25th. All right, so that is it tomorrow? See, tomorrow is already Christmas. All right. So I'm gonna have my 2022 Christmas games and raffle together with my son and daughter. So it's just gonna be fun games and prizes and raffle prizes for everyone. For you to join, you need to be subscribed to me, and for you to get the bigger, nicer prizes, you need to be a member. All right. So head on to Mommy Guide Inc. and I'll see you again tomorrow for that. And thank you to my sponsors, Papel at Iba Pa, Fedrigoni, Paper, Lasting Impression, My Little Attic, Papier Manila, and Design Plus. Of course, this is today. Thank you so much, Lito, for being here and telling us all about the amazing things that we can actually expect when we go to Japan and even some tips, right? Of
Yep.
actually how to go about that. And he has amazing content on his channel, a little bit of Japan, right? So
Yeah.
it's really something that you need to go to. Okay, all the links to his media or social media links are all there. Even Twitch are on
Mhm.
also on the description of this video. With that, have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much, Lito. Safe travels to you.
Thank you so much. I
Bye.
hope we can get back for Christmas. Mega, mega love shout out to everybody in
Yes.
the chat. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Lito. Bye.
Arigato.
Thank you so much for joining Lito and I today. And I hope that this has been an amazing stream for you and hope to see you tomorrow for amazing fun and games at Mommy Guide Inc.'s Christmas special. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Merry Christmas.